Okay. Good morning. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. And, well, there's a couple of things we're going to talk about. They're about to have a press conference. Not sure how long that's going to take to start, but we'll have a couple of things we can cover. And something breaking that I just saw literally before I went live. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe this. It's the end of times. Let me show you. Traffic alert. Egg truck crash. Not the eggs. We already have enough problems with eggs. There was an egg truck crash. What the? Wow. It's an inside job. Somebody did this. Sabotage. Egg truck crash causing major delays in the 5 freeway in East Los Angeles. And the protest last night, I went to lay down, I cut it off, went to sleep, but I saw a little bit. They said they were doing mass arrest last night. Let me see if I can find out how many people were arrested. Los Angeles protests. Arrests. I know they started doing arrests, they started doing tear gas. All kinds of stuff last night. And I guess at some point they got him to leave. Wow. I don't know if I'm wondering if they're expected to protest today. I had also heard something crazy. Heard something crazy that I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Maybe take it with a grain of salt. I heard that the FBI was gonna protest today. Imagine that, like ex-FBI people, the people that got fired protesting. FBI. I think that was according to Raw Alerts. Imagine that. Good morning, everybody. What's up? Good morning. Eggs are going to be $20 now. Eggs are very pricey, man, already, right? They're pretty expensive. While we wait, for those that have been following, there's been like a kind of a tariff war between like US and Mexico and US and Canada. And apparently Mexico, because the lady president, she was getting pretty upset. Apparently she had a phone conversation with Trump and she agreed to send 10,000 troops to the border. And so we're going to pause the tariffs on Mexico, I guess. For a month, it says. For a month. Damn. Trump is strict. We'll stop it for a month.
25% on Mexico and Canada, an extra 10% on China. Looks like, though, the Mexican tariffs have now been paused. We just heard from the Mexican president a short while ago. That has now been confirmed by President Trump as well. Let's cross to our US correspondent, Mark Stone. So it seems that an agreement has been reached with Mexico. We know that a conversation's happening also with Canada today. Might that be paused as well, do you think?
Jane, truly, it is hard to keep up with the news here in the US at the moment. But yeah, I mean, a real interesting development. Just 24 hours after he said he would impose these extraordinary tariffs on his two neighbors, Canada to the north, Mexico to the south, they have gone away for a month at least. Why? Well, on the face of it, because Mexico is complying with Donald Trump's demands. And I wonder if this is going to become...
Wow. Isn't that amazing? And he made a tweet. He said, I spoke with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico. It was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico and the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designated to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal migrants into our country. We further agreed to immediately pause the anticipated tariffs for a month. Damn, he said for a month, during which we will have negotiations headed by Secretary of State Mark Rubio, Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, and high-level representatives of Mexico. I look forward to participating in those negotiations with President Sheinbaum as we attempt to achieve a deal between our two countries. Wow. 10,000 troops. How about Elon and his 6 teenage tech boys strong arming their way into the U.S. Treasury and intelligence? I have a clip about that, actually. Let me just put a little note here so people that are joining, they know what we're waiting for. Waiting for press conference. Philly press conference. Okay, just so people know. We're going to get to the topic, just waiting for them to start, and I have a couple things we can go over as well with regards to the Philly thing.
A pattern, and from Trump's perspective, he will see this as a massive win. We heard from the Mexican president just now. She has released a tweet as well in which she outlines precisely the outcome of the good conversation, as she put it, with President Trump. And she says that Mexico will reinforce the northern border with the United States with 10,000 National Guard elements immediately to prevent drug trafficking from Mexico, particularly fentanyl coming into the United States. She says also that the US has committed to work to prevent the trafficking of high-powered weapons into Mexico, so a bit of things going both ways. And she says our teams will begin to work today on 2 tracks, security and trade, and that the tariffs have been put on hold for a month, a month, so that President Trump can be the judge as to whether or not what the Mexicans have said they will do, they actually follow through on. But it's worth, Jane, taking a step back and looking at what Donald Trump is trying to achieve with these tariffs that we've heard so much about. It's also worth stressing that for so long, countries have been kind of wondering whether he would follow through on these threats through the campaign. He talked about the tariffs that he would have put in place. Would he actually do it? Well, yes, turns out he will. But there are 3 specific groupings. There are targeted tariffs to address unfair practices, either by specific industries or countries, like China. There are general tariffs, low percentage tariffs applied across the board, across all different sectors, in order to generate revenue for the United States. These tariffs are the ones that the UK is particularly worried about. And then there are tariffs used as negotiating tools to try and get countries to do what you want them to do. And it is that third grouping of tariffs as negotiating tools, which the Canadian and the Mexican tariffs announced at the weekend.
Okay, let's move on for that. But so that's what's going on with the Mexico tariffs. I don't know what's going to happen with the Canada stuff, because there's a lot of drama happening with that. A lot of people have been talking about that. And, a lot of these protests that we were covering yesterday, and these protests have been happening. They're probably going to continue to happen, involved immigration, the protesting the immigration stuff. So it's been pretty interesting. And it got kind of crazy last night. I don't think it was like, I don't know, as far as violence. Supposedly there was reports of people throwing objects at cops, and throwing things at cops, bottles and stuff. There was that. I'm curious to know how many arrests were made last night. And, well, here's the thing with Elon Musk, because there's a lot of criticism about Elon, I guess, being involved in government. But he's looking to make cuts. And they talked to
tonight at midnight. And Canada says it's ready to respond. Canadian native and O'Leary Ventures chairman Kevin O'Leary joins us right now from Tokyo. Kevin, good evening to you there.
That's right.
All right. So you have talked to Donald Trump about tariffs on Canada and Mexico and China. What'd you tell him?
I was speaking specifically to him the last time I was at Mar-a-Lago about delaying the decision on Canada until they had finished their election. As you know, the Canadian government has fallen. There is no love lost between Trudeau and Freeland and Donald Trump. They had a bad relationship in his first mandate. It's obviously gotten worse. Trudeau's been calling him all weekend. Calls not returned.
No response.
This is not good.
Yeah, Trump's not returning his calls.
They're supposed to speak today. I would prefer, and many Canadians feel the same way, and many investors, really I'm an investor, would rather have the new government in place to negotiate the new deal, but that's not what happened.
Yeah. Kevin, Donald Trump ran on lowering costs for food and energy and stuff like that. Right now, the conventional wisdom is if they go into effect 25%, Canada and Mexico, Americans are going to get hurt a little bit.
I look at this as the beginning of a negotiation. And I've always said to everybody on both sides, because I'm kind of in a unique situation. You know, I'm a Canadian, but my entire family's American. So and I invest on both sides of the border. In chaos, there's opportunity. The biggest thing going on here is a negotiation. We know it's about fentanyl right now. You had Doug Burgum on just moments ago saying exactly that. But the real opportunity comes out of the chaos and economic union. And I think this is the beginning of that narrative. I will note that energy is only at 10%. And I think the reason that's the case, or at least part of it, is that Danielle Smith, the premier of Alberta, took the time to go meet Trump in Mar-a-Lago a few weeks ago and plead her case about the importance of the relationship on energy of the U.S. And here she is getting a benefit from.
So yeah, 10% energy imports, all other imports, 25%. He's saying that because the energy person met with Trump, maybe he gave some grace to them. And so Mexico is 25%, but it's on pause now. That's the new news. It's on pause. A lot of people were concerned. Some people were concerned about the imports and, you know, how the price is going up. And then China's 10%. And then there's a portion in this where they talk about Elon Musk.
Things that the payment approval officers at Treasury were instructed always to approve payments, even to known fraudulent or terrorist groups. They literally never denied a payment in their entire careers, not even once. What do you make of Elon Musk going through Washington right now with a Hoover?
Thank you for the follow, Lisa.
I'm okay with it. I think the American people are okay with it. Everybody knows the dirty little secret about government. It drips with fat. No one's ever done an exercise like this. I thought he'd get a lot more pushback from Congress, and he's not. He's going in there with a spatula, and he's scraping out billions of dollars, and people are okay with it. After all, it's taxpayers' money.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I think, you know, maybe we can, I don't know. Hopefully things can improve.
Right. Why not do this? If you sit around your kitchen table, you got to have a budget every year. Right. Why can't we apply the same kind of philosophy to government? And that's why he's getting a lot of latitude and a lot of slack, even though he's a controversial guy. But look at the executional skills he has.
Sure.
There's nobody like him. Let him do his thing.
Mr. Wonderful, you are in Tokyo making a move.
All right, so that's the tariff stuff for those that care or interested in it. All right, so let's move on from that. A couple other tidbits. We're waiting for the press conference for the Philly update from the city, which to me the city updates are just kind of okay. I feel like the most informative updates that we're probably going to get, it seems like, is from NTSB. And speaking of NTSB, let me see if they have anything scheduled so far. Maybe not today yet, but let me see. Nothing today yet scheduled. Let me just check their Twitter. NTSB. The last press conference was pretty intense, kind of emotional for the guy that was doing the press conference. He got, you know, frustrated and upset. Okay, nothing yet. All right, we'll see. Maybe we'll check later to see if NTSB has an update. They should be doing something soon, one of these days, because they've been extracting the black box data. They got the black boxes, I think, from both the Black Hawk and the Bombardier. Recorder of the Learjet was located. Oh, they released a B-roll too of crash site. Let's take a look at that. This is the Philly crash site. If you guys could hit the like button for me too, helps out with the algorithm. Appreciate that. All right, so the wreckage site. Let's take a look. Oh, this is that hole. Let me take myself off the screen for a second, or maybe just go up here. This is, I forgot how many feet. I think they said this is 8 feet deep. This hole, and the black box was actually found in that hole. I believe that's what they said. NTSB. Wow, look at that. And I want to get into the topic in a second about the man that was found. It was a missing man. Family thought he was maybe involved and deceased. And originally, it was going to be a PSA, look out for this guy, but I found some updates on the story. NTSB, Assad Hot Chicken, right next to the gas station. Philly Gas, Assad's Hot Chicken. I don't know if that's good. I want to see the reviews. Assad's Hot Chicken. Look at the drone. Philly. Damn, they got 4.5 stars. Assad's Hot Chicken, 2,700 Google reviews. Gas station chicken. Okay. All right. Well, it's at the gas station. I don't know if it's a part. Maybe they have some type of partnership. They got good reviews, and the pictures look decent. Look okay. I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay. Man, so this is crash site. I think I need a cough drop. I'm not surprised the press conference is late. So it's okay. We have other things we can talk about with this and other stuff. Not surprised. Wow. Damn, shit looks like out of a video game. I forgot the name of that game I played one time. It's like the end of the world. Popular game. End of the world. Fallout. I think I played like the first one. I don't, or the second one. I never played any of the other ones. Why is it Fallout? And speaking of the planes, this was the other day. An American Airlines plane strikes United tug driver at Chicago's O'Hare Airport, leaving the driver critically injured just days after the American Airlines plane crash. And a tug driver. Oh, wait, what? And a tug driver killed at Charlotte Airport Monday? I didn't see that part. Hold on, now we gotta have to look into that. Hold on. What the? Yeah. There's another story. I can't, man. Hold on, let's take a look at the Charlotte story first.
A deadly incident at Charlotte Douglas International Airport this morning had a number of flights delayed as investigators
This was January
tried to piece together
January 27.
what happened. Airport officials tell us a worker was involved in a vehicle accident and unfortunately didn't survive. American Airlines just confirmed the victim was one of their employees. WBTV's Ron Lee joins us now at the airport digging into what happened. So Ron, do we have any idea what caused this?
Oh, is this the same story? Maybe it's the same story. The same story, I think.
Well, as of this point, we did reach out to airline officials, and they tell us that ramp worker was struck by some kind of a ramp vehicle at Concourse B, which you might be able to see just behind me through the fog. Now, somehow the employee was hit by that vehicle as they work within eyesight of passengers, both on the planes as well as in the terminals. Now, this is video shot by one of those passengers just after the accident happened, some of whom tell us it took nearly an hour to get their planes to the gates when they were cleared to approach. The flight crews asked them to lower their window shades so as not to upset people on those planes. Baggage handlers corralling carts around the scene to protect those involved. Now, at this point, it's not clear if the employee got in front of the ramp truck or may have been caught in a blind spot, but Charlotte-Mecklenburg police say the victim did die on the scene. Witnesses that I talked to say they saw emergency vehicles and crime scene tape, but no one on the aircraft told them exactly what was going on.
As we were finally allowed to come into the concourse area, we could see caution tape and cones around several baggage carts, and the police vehicles were still there.
Jeez.
Now, right now, we are not being told the identification of that victim or any.
So I think it's the same person. This article here, because they're both 66. This article here says that United employee 64 critically injured after American Airlines airplane wing strikes the tug vehicle. Oh no, this guy's 64 though. Yo, it's two different incidents, I guess. A 64-year-old United Airlines employee was rushed to the hospital in critical condition after the air tug vehicle he was driving was struck by taxiing a plane at Chicago O'Hare International Airport. The tug vehicle was reportedly making its way across the runway when it was struck by the wing of an American Airlines plane, American Eagle Flight 6181. It just landed from Kalamazoo. The hell is that? Kalamazoo Battle Creek International Airport in Michigan. Okay. A collision flipped the tug vehicle, and its driver, identified as 64-year-old man employed by United, became trapped. Police did not release his name. The driver eventually freed and was taken to Lutheran General Hospital in critical condition. He suffered injuries to his head and lower body, but is now in stable condition. So it's two different stories. So one guy survived, the 64-year-old, and in the other story, it was a 66-year-old man. They didn't release his name yet, but this other person passed away. So this one here on the screen, the 64-year-old, it was struck by a wing, the vehicle, the tug. And then the other person, the 66-year-old, was killed by a ramp vehicle. Weird. Wow. Oh, I meant to play this earlier too, but yeah, the cartels are pissed off, and they're talking about using drones. I mentioned this, I think, previously, about authorized weaponized drones. That'd be crazy. Weaponized drones. So I wonder how the 10,000 soldiers, how they're going to fare against the cartel. That's going to be interesting.
We also just got our hands on a memo out of the Rio Grande Valley sector that actually says that this is kind of crazy here, that the cartels authorize the use of weaponized drones, explosives against CBP personnel.
They don't even put masks on. They don't care.
And U.S. law enforcement down there at the southern border. Now, they're actually being encouraged, of course, to remain cognizant and vigilant, but they're also being encouraged to use their long arms, Blake. I have never seen this in a CBP memo before. They say, wear your ballistic gear, yes, but they're telling them, hey, have your long arms. Yes, they are saying, watch out for these weaponized drones. We've seen a lot of infighting with two different factions of the cartel down in Tamaulipas, that is on the south side of the border in the Rio Grande Valley. And they have like an all-out war happening between these cartel factions. So they are warning now that they might be using these weaponized drones against U.S. personnel on this side. So,
and I think like Ukraine and Russia is using that type of stuff, the weaponized drones. So it's going to be really messy at the border. It's going to be messy because when you're messing with these people's money and drugs and they're trafficking and all this kind of stuff, they're gonna do whatever. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see what happens. The border is probably gonna need some more backup, and I'm interested to see how those 10,000 soldiers are gonna fare. Are they gonna be afraid of the cartel? I don't know. Are they worried about, are they gonna be kidnapped, tortured, their family threatened? All right. So this is the man that was missing.
Plane came crashing down near Roosevelt Mall. Countless people impacted. Those who lost loved ones, those whose homes were significantly damaged by flying plane debris and embers, and those who still haven't heard from their loved ones. Kelly, you spoke with the family of a man who's been missing since Friday. His last known location was on Cottman Avenue. What's his family telling you?
Well, Sheba, first of all, the family wants everyone to take a very close look at the pictures we're about to show you of 38-year-old Jason Rodriguez. Like you said, he was shopping on Friday night. His last location on Cottman Avenue, near where the plane crashed. His phone is off now. They say it's completely unlike him to go off the grid like this. They are trying to stay positive, but they're fearing the worst.
Right now, we need him, and my family needs him. My kids need him.
Katrina Rodriguez and her daughter hoping for the best, but fearing the worst. She says the last time she heard from her big brother, 38-year-old Jason Rodriguez, he was shopping on Cottman Avenue Friday afternoon.
My brother takes his time because he got a bad foot, and he was on foot. He wasn't in a car. I had a message from him saying that he was done shopping and he was going to go around the rest of the stores, and after that, I texted him about an hour later, no response. It was just ringing, and it was going straight to voicemail.
Katrina says before his phone went off, Jason's last location was on Cotman Avenue in the area of where the Learjet medical transport plane crashed shortly after 6 p.m. She says Jason lives with her, a father figure to her kids, never turns his phone off. She says she's looked everywhere, called hospitals and law enforcement.
We just need him home. He means a lot to us, and like I said, I hope he's safe out there.
He usually would text us if he goes somewhere, and he'd be at my house or my grandma's house. I'm worried because we don't know where he's at. We don't know what happened to him.
City officials have not identified any of the victims that were not on the plane, saying today there could be victims they don't know about.
That's part of the uncertainty that we're going to continue to have for days, potentially weeks, about who might have been in that area that we don't know about.
Among the victims recovering at the hospital, 10-year-old Andre Howard III, who also goes by Trey. His father telling Fox 29 he took Trey to get a donut after school Friday. When the debris fell from the crash, Trey dove onto his sister to protect her and was struck in the head, potentially saving his sister's life. Now, Trey had to go through emergency brain surgery. His dad says he's now in stable condition at CHOP, an improvement from critical condition. Yeah. As for Jason Rodriguez, his family says he was wearing a mint or light green jacket on Friday. He has tattoos on his neck and on his arms and a distinct mark on his forehead that looks like a birthmark. If you have any information on his whereabouts, his family is asking that you call police.
Okay, so the news with that guy was he was actually found. They found him somewhere else. Debris still litters the street after North. Oh, is this the article? Oh, it's this one. Here we go. My bad. This one. Philly plane crash. Man located safe after being reported missing. They say he never turns off his phone. This is unlike him. But he was located safe. City officials said on Sunday it's very possible there are victims and people missing that they don't know about. Jason Rodriguez, 38, was said to be among those missing, according to his sister Katrina Rodriguez. She says before her brother's phone went off, his last location was at Cotman Avenue in the area of where the Learjet medical transport plane crashed shortly after 6 p.m. On Monday, law enforcement and Rodriguez family confirmed he was safe, located in Ben Salem. That's it. He's alive. Let's see what they got.
What they call the Enhanced Ground
Proximity
Warning System, which may also contain some flight data. Both engines were also recovered. Jet Rescue Air Ambulance has identified the 6 people killed on board the flight. They are Captain Alan Montoya, co-pilot Josue Juarez, paramedic Rodrigo Padilla,
the Newport one,
and Dr. Raul Meza. 11-year-old.
He was chilling with the side piece.
Patient Valentino Guzman Murillo and her mother Lizeth Murillo Osuna also died. One person on the ground was killed and 22 others were injured.
Now, as many questions.
I wonder what the person on the ground that was killed. I don't think they've identified that person yet.
Remain about the crash itself. The neighborhood is also trying to come to terms with what happened on Friday night. It left behind a path of devastation on the streets, and while cleanup and recovering efforts are ongoing, evidence of the crash can still be seen everywhere. Let's turn now to the scene, and Action News reporter Corey Davis with a live report. Good morning, Corey.
Matt and Tam, good morning. We're here at the intersection of Cotman Avenue and Bustleton Avenue, and right next to us now, investigators have put up these large trucks to block off Cotman Avenue. So it's blocked between Bustleton now, all the way down there to the boulevard along the Roosevelt Mall, where we are at the moment. People who live out here in this area and the bystanders who were around as well when the plane crashed are just reflecting on how quickly they say life can change.
You know, it happened really close to my house. And the thing that this really made me think, like, wow, like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, this could have been me. This could have been anybody. Rest in peace to the people that lost their lives.
And as families in the area reflect on the severity of the loss and destruction, neighbors captured video of crews tearing down homes that were damaged and caught fire after that explosive plane crash Friday night. FBI agents and other agencies are conducting investigations at the doorsteps of people's homes who were in the impact zone where debris came raining down after the crash. The impact crater here on Cotman Avenue serves as a grim reminder of the chaos people were suddenly thrown into.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Wow.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Damn.
What happened?
This is so. I can imagine. It's like one thing seeing it on video, but like to be there in person.
He is the man who shot this video. He didn't initially know what caused this destruction, but once he realized, he says he saw people in distress and stopped recording and tried to help.
Luckily, I didn't, catch on fire because when I went back in the house, my shoes were soaked in jet fuel. I'm just exhausted mentally, and I'm just kind of decompressing, I think. I've never been in a situation like this. It was just like the end of the world. You run outside and there's people on fire. Everything is on fire. The fact that I was able to help someone is comforting.
And a lot of people, or some people out here, did in fact help.
Wow. So, okay, a couple things. Let's get to it. Let's see this first. First, let me do this, and then I got something else to show you. Unrelated. We're still waiting for the presser. So, Justin, Mexican drug lord Ricardo Gonzalez Sauceda, also known as El Ricky. I like that. El Ricky. Has been arrested in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico, amid Trump's calls for Mexico to take out cartel leaders. Gunfights have reportedly broken out in Nuevo Laredo after the arrest. Oh, they're pissed. He is the leader of a group that generates violence and operates in Nuevo León, Tamaulipas. Coach Lula, and he's linked into extortion and multiple attacks on Foresa civil police officers in Nuevo León, said Secretary of Security and Citizens Protection Omar Garcia Harfuch. Government officials are being told to shelter in place as shootings throughout the city escalate. So the cartel's pissed. They're sending soldiers to the border, Mexican soldiers, and their money's being messed with. The drugs are being stopped, or maybe slowed, I should say. The trafficking is being affected. El Ricky and some of the others are really not happy. 3 of the hitmen were killed and 1 arrested. Video below. Wow. It's going down. El Ricky's on the left, and I guess the hitmen were on the right. Let me see here. It's the hitman. Wow. Crazy. El Ricky. And something else, because I remember I was telling you guys, I have heard some rumors, supposedly there's going to be some type of FBI protest, which sounds so wild to me. If there's an FBI protest, we have to come back. Do they come in uniform? Are they going to be out there in uniforms and shit? Imagine the FBI protests, because a bunch of them got fired, I guess, by Trump or Trump's people. Watch unmarked trucks just entered the FBI headquarters in D.C. ahead of protest by FBI agents that is taking place at FBI headquarters today to protest the removal of senior FBI officials and President Trump's inquiry into the FBI agents worked on J6 cases. I thought they said they were like protecting the identities of the people that worked on J6 cases. So I had heard from raw alerts and now Loomer, which I guess you have to take some time with a grain of salt or confirm. But this is the second person that I'm seeing saying that there's supposed to be, maybe I should try to look into it, that there's going to be some type of FBI protest today at the headquarters. Hey. And it says FBI staff ordered to reveal their role in January 6 probes by Monday. Time for me to dig in. Justice Department puts pressure on FBI agents who worked on January 6 cases. FBI distributing questionnaire probing agents. Interesting. Okay. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for that today. You guys make sure you have notifications turned on. You know, if it pops off, we'll be on for the protests. Again, these are the identities of the pilots and staff, I guess, or the doctors are flying the plane. So Philadelphia Learjet crash pilot Alejandro Perales and co-pilot Jose Juarez, Dr. Raul Arredondo, paramedic Rodrigo Padilla. Investigators continue to look for the... well, I thought they found the black box. Well, this was yesterday. Okay, so that's why it's already found. So that was the crew on the plane. There's an article that has more pictures we're gonna take a look at that for the inside of the jet. And then this is the 10-year-old, which we kind of covered already. He got hit by debris. He was he's recovering. He had brain surgery, but they said he's in stable condition now.
Last night, my baby in there. It's hard. See him like that. As a mother, what am I supposed to do? But he's good. You're pushing through.
10-year-old Andre Howard was in the car with his father and siblings when tragedy shook Northeast Philadelphia.
Here, what we thought was a car crash, but then you see a fury of fire in the air and then a bunch of debris shooting everywhere.
Andre tells us he tried using nearby buildings to shield them from flying debris.
My son, who's also the same name as me, Andre Howard, tells his little sister, "Get down," and he grabs her. I hear the glass shatter. I turn around. There's a piece of metal sticking out of my son's head. Wow. From the plane.
A Good Samaritan took the shirt off his back to help apply pressure to Andre's head.
Oh, and that reminds me, I don't know if you've been watching the lives with me, if you've been here for all the live streams. There was one interview that we watched where the guy's like, I don't record, I get involved and I help and stuff. And so this guy did an interview where he said, because the reporter's like, well, what did you do? And he's like, oh, well, there was a kid that was bleeding or something, and I gave the shirt off my back to like stop the bleeding or something. I wonder, this sounds like this might have been this incident where the guy helped out. Well, it looks like they're about to start now. They're getting ready to start with the press conference. Yeah. So give me a second. Let me switch it to the main screen. We'll do the press conference, and I still have a couple other things. I have a few things we could still talk about too after the presser. But that's so far what I'm looking forward to today is the supposed FBI protest. If it's going to be like they said at the headquarters, hopefully it's outside. I want to see it. Where'd they go? Oh, maybe they're not starting it. Maybe they're just getting on scene. That'd be so wild to me to see FBI people protesting. That'd be what? You know it's 2025. Look how 2025 is starting. Okay, I guess we're still waiting then. What are you talking about, FBI in every protest? Well, I did see a post last night that was kind of funny where they talked about those people that are covered up that are at the protests are the FBI. Let me see if I can find it. FBI protest. Yeah, I think this is it right here. This is one of the FBI agent walkout protests outside the Hoover building has begun. What was this posted? Oh, this morning. I saw the picture last night, but it was kind of funny. Like those people that show up and they're all covered up and stuff. Oh, is he, Kelly? Unscheduled press conference? Let's see. America is back. All right, I guess we're gonna have to wait. We put it back. All right, so we're stuck waiting.
Then a Philadelphia police officer rushed them to Jefferson Torresdale Hospital, where the boy underwent emergency surgery.
They pretty much told us my son wasn't supposed to make it. Jefferson also told us that they didn't do children trauma surgeries, but they did for us, which was nothing but God.
Authorities say at least 7 people are dead and 19 others are injured, including Andre. Doctors initially told him that his son would never walk again, but after being transported to CHOP, Andre has made miracle strides overnight.
To face death yesterday and speaking today, stepping up for his little sister like I trained him and his other brothers to do, off of instinct, he's my hero.
He's strong. He's a jokester, but he's strong.
Oh, he's a superhero.
He's a superhero.
Now his mother tells me that his team of doctors and nurses are working around the clock to keep him stable and comfortable. Meanwhile, they'll be taking things day by day and continuing to pray for little Andre.
Okay, so the set is doing good. Next thing, we know the pilots, their names were revealed. Picture some of the pilots. This guy here, this is Alan Montoya, was flying home a young girl. It's Alan. This is Alan Montoya. Same picture. Looks like a different guy though. Different guy. They put two to the name. Alan Montoya and co-pilot Jesus Juarez. Okay, it's Jesus Juarez. Patient was 11 years old. Philadelphia jet crashes as investigators find the box buried 8 feet in the ground of the impact site. All right, and Valentina Guzman Morello, that's the 11-year-old. Her mother, Lizeth Morello. Let me mute this. Lizeth Morello Ozuna, 31 years old. Captain Alan Alejandro Montoya Perales. Co-pilot Jose de Jesus Juarez. Wow, twice Juarez. And Dr. Raul Meza Arredondo. And paramedic Rodriguez Lopez Padilla died in a Mexico-bound Learjet 55 aircraft crash. The company operating the medical transport flight, Jet Rescue Air, told CBS. So this is a picture of the 11-year-old and the mother that was 31 years old. That she was getting life-saving treatment. Okay. These are the pilots and co-pilot. We saw that already. Here's another picture. The mother and daughter. This was at the hospital, life-saving treatment at Shriners Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. So that's the little girl there who passed away. Crazy. At least 11 homes and some businesses were significantly damaged. 22 people were injured. 5 remain hospitalized following the crash. This is the doctor, Dr. Raul Mesa Arredondo. Crazy. Mexico's president has confirmed all 6 victims were Mexican citizens. And Jet Air released 3 photos of the plane's interior following the crash, showing the flight was equipped like a flying ICU. Those are the pictures of the aircraft's interior. A spokesperson told Fox, "You can see it's set up. We call it the flying ICU setting." So this right here, this is like the inside, right there. Let me just make sure they're not doing the press. It should be outside. What's going on with this Philly press conference? I guess we got to just wait. Wait for them to come out. All right, so looks like they're coming out. You can see here, this is the medical bed, and it looks like the monitoring equipment there, and Sharps container, all kinds of stuff. I guess the pilots would be right up there. Pilots right up there. It's the seats. It's time. There's another view. Medical bed right there. You got the seats surrounding the patient. Maybe the doctors or whatever would sit right here. Maybe, I don't know. And attend to the patient. I guess she would be strapped down. What the black box would look like. This is a similar one. Another angle inside the plane. I mean, I can't even imagine their last moments. It's just crazy. What in the hell happened? Looks like they're getting ready to start. Pretty critical. Okay, I think they're getting ready to set up. See what else we got. I do have some DC plane stuff, but I feel like maybe I should save the DC plane stuff when they do. Maybe when they do an NTSB thing, we can do that. $104 DEI contracts totaling $1 billion have been canceled by Dodge. Wow. They're claiming is DEI. Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services. FAA. Damn. Damn. All right, check this out. The Elon Musk stuff. This is a national emergency. This week, Elon Musk and a literal handful of 18 to 24-year-olds have illegally taken over the U.S. Treasury Department computers and now have access to all of our nation's both individual and collective financial data. I mean, y'all already leaked all that shit anyway. There's always a security leak here and there. All right, but so they're saying Elon Musk walked in there. Well, those young people, that's what somebody mentioned earlier. And they got access to the computers. This gives them the ability to not only cut off money from any programs they decide to, government programs, veteran benefits, pensions, but the ability to access your personal finances. They already attempted a funding freeze last week. This was only reversed by public outcry. This, along with Trump's insane tariff wars, is an attempt to financially cripple our economy, devalue all of our 401ks and investments, and driving people to crypto, and further place our financial wealth in the hands of a very few. The final piece of this plan is the appointment of Russell Vought for OMDB, Office of Management and Budget Director. Vought is the architect of Project 2025, and this position would allow him to disregard Congress regarding the spending of our nation's money. Okay. This is a nonpartisan, time-sensitive national emergency. In just 2 weeks, Trump and Musk have infiltrated our financial systems and are poised to decimate our programs to help the hungry and poor and elderly. They're literally a hair's breadth from having no barriers to all our life savings and retirement funds. Please respond by applying pressure to your local and state officials. No one is coming to save us. We are the last chance we have. Not illegally. It was ordered by President Trump. What's your source on 18 to 24-year-olds? No security clearance. They got security clearance, allegedly. I don't know. So it's chaos, man. People not happy. Let's see what else we got. What else do we got? The eggs, man. Not the eggs. For those that joined late, one of my main concerns today is the egg crash that happened. Traffic alert. Egg truck crashes, causing major delays on that 5 freeway through Los Angeles, East Los Angeles. How can this be, man? 2025. Eggs are like a delicacy now. They're rare. Well, not really, but some people are having a hard time finding it. I went to one store, the shelf was empty, but what somebody told me on Twitter was they were saying it's food stamp time. And so somebody said that, like, you know, they go out and I guess they just buy everything out of the store. Let's see. Quite a mess. You can see a portion of the big rig that was completely peeled apart. Damn. Peeled apart. As we zoom in here, it looks like a company called Good Eggs. All right. Ooh, okay. The after effects of the protest yesterday, maybe? Or just maybe completely unrelated? Police are investigating a series of smashing grabs in San Fernando Valley this morning. Multiple businesses hit at two strip malls. Press conference time. Oh, no. The COVID.
Okay. Thank you. Let me start by thanking each of you for being with us here today. We wanted to give you another in a continuing series of updates on the ongoing investigation relative to the plane crash that occurred on Cottman Avenue here in Northeast Philadelphia on Friday night. Let me start by saying that I want to welcome here today U.S. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy to Northeast Philadelphia. Mr. Secretary, we know the demands that's on the time. Our nation has faced a great number of challenges that connect to our Department of Transportation, and we want you to know that we are grateful and we appreciate your presence here today, and we appreciate your being able to feel in real time the magnitude and impact this has had on our great city of Philadelphia. To our governor, Governor Shapiro, I want to say thank you, Governor. You've been here, you've been with us and on the ground every step of the way, and we appreciate your support. As we get started, I want to give us just a little context. On yesterday, Fire Commissioner Thompson and I had the opportunity to visit some of those who have been impacted by this tragedy at our area hospitals. Philadelphia, seeing them along with their families, we are reminded that there is in no way, shape, or form anything that we could have done to prepare for what I've described as the worst black swan event that the city of Philadelphia has encountered in I don't know how many years. But even in the midst of that tragedy, I want you to know that our resilience and our strength, it remains strong. Working together collaboratively with our federal partners, state and local partners, we know Philadelphia will recover from this tragedy. We're here in the Northeast where the people are Northeast strong. Yep. We will continue to look after each other the way Philadelphians do, with our One Philly philosophy as our foundation. Let me, in a very detailed way, affirm for the city that this remains an ongoing investigation, and it is fluid and it is active. Our Philadelphia Police Department, Fire Department, Office of Emergency Management, first responders, again, federal, state, and local partners are all working around the clock to ensure that we get all of the information that we need to address this issue. I want to again give a special thanks, and Mr. Secretary, I know I said this to you when we first connected, that the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, Chair Jennifer Holmandy, her amazing team, we were trying to figure out how we could keep Ralph here in the city of Philadelphia. I mean, he has done just an amazing job when they were sifting through all of the evidence and the data to find out what ultimately caused this terrible incident, and to the announcement where Philadelphians breathed a sigh of relief that the black box had been discovered. So we were really happy about that, and we want to thank you. We have been very careful, and I want to affirm this, the numbers of those who have been impacted and the fatalities, because we're working in direct correlation with our forensics department and all of our research and investigatory partners. We want to affirm the numbers, and that is that 6 people, yes, were on board the plane. However, the 7th person who was in a nearby car, they also perished. We learned today that the number of people who have been treated so far with injuries that they suffered as a result of the crash has been increased from 22 to 24. 4 of those people remain hospitalized. 2 are now stable, and 2 remain in critical condition. We will continue to keep them, their loved ones, and families in our prayers, and we stand with them. We also want to reinforce our ask that you follow the work of the NTSB on Twitter for subsequent updates from our federal colleagues as we're collaborating with them closely. Public education, no new updates. Philadelphia schools are open, and no charter schools have been impacted by the incident. Mr. Secretary and Governor, I think we've heard this from across the board, but I can tell you that although we've been talking about local, state, and federal partners, and we all have very specific assignments and areas of expertise, there have been no silos. We have all understood the assignment, especially when I think about our first responders and the technicians and engineers who are on the ground and the investigators, but they have worked in a collaborative spirit. And for the record, I again want to affirm NTSB, Ralph Hicks, thank you, to the FAA. You have been amazing. The office of our governor, Josh Shapiro, our Pennsylvania State Police, Pennsylvania Emergency Management, Department of Environmental Protection, of course, our Philadelphia Police and Fire, Office of Emergency Management, our Managing Director's Office, the American Red Cross of Southeastern Pennsylvania, School District of Philadelphia, many other agencies and officials. We are all grateful for your support. We have to now mention for the record that intergovernmental cooperation also extends to our elected representatives. And I shared with both the governor and the secretary that our U.S. senators, Fetterman and McCormick, have been in constant communication with the city throughout this process, as well as Congress members Evans, Boyle, and Scanlon, all of our state legislators, and it's important to affirm this, Reps Doherty, Nielsen, Solomon, Bellman, every rep, State Senator Pecosi, who represents this area, my former double colleague, Driscoll, thank you so very much for being here, Commissioner Dealey, the Mexican consulate, everyone standing up together in this crisis, One Philly Northeast strong. Finally, where do you turn to for help? Shelter. There's a shelter at the Samuel Fells High School, located at 5500 Langdon Street, here in Northeast Philadelphia. It is being operated by our Office of Emergency Management and the American Red Cross, Southeastern Pennsylvania, with the School District of Philadelphia. It is operating 24/7. You only need to call 1-800-RED Cross for help. I also want to affirm that we have now confirmed the location for our town hall meeting. It will be held on Wednesday, this Wednesday, February 5th, at the Solace Cohen Elementary School, 7001 Horrock Street at 7 p.m. This becomes extremely important because so much information regarding mental and behavioral health supports, we want to make sure we communicate to the public, and any other questions or concerns that you may have. If you need mental and behavioral health supports, we want you to call the hotline at 988 or visit them at www.dbhids.org. The City of Philadelphia is here to help you. If you know of anyone who has been displaced or impacted by the tragedy, we want you to tell them that they can get help. However, we don't want anyone, because right now, as you can imagine, Mr. Secretary and Governor, a lot of people are watching us. A lot of people are saying, what can we do to help during this time? We still do not want you to bring any sort of donations and or supports to this site, nor do we want you formally making a contribution because nothing has been structured as of yet that involves our government. We're working with many partners in order to stand that up, and as soon as we have found and established a vehicle, we will communicate that with you. But we are developing a way for people to contribute to the victims of this disaster. Roosevelt Boulevard is now reopened. If you want to get updates, visit Ready PHL to get updates from our Office of Emergency Management. I now want to just affirm, and I want to say a special thanks to our federal partners, NTSB, the Secretary of Transportation, the FBI, and the ATF, as well as all of our state and local partners, and to our tremendous police and fire departments and first responders. Thank you all. Mr. Secretary, I want to turn it over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It is nice of the welcome you've given me here in Philadelphia. I want to take a quick moment and extend my condolences to those who lost their lives in this tragedy here in Philadelphia. not only those who lost their lives, but many lives in Philadelphia have been impacted. As you look at the crash zone, people in the hospital, we look at people removed from their homes, businesses that have been shut down. There has been a substantial impact that's taken place here in your city. And I just want to take a moment, and this is the first time I had a chance to meet your mayor, but I saw what she was doing through this crisis, and the kind of leadership that she has offered Philadelphia has been remarkable. The work that she put in to build a team that could respond to this crisis the way they did, of police and fire and first responders, they don't know what hit them. And they responded quickly to the scene and did a fantastic job, as well as leadership from your governor. He has been remarkable, Governor Shapiro, in constant contact with the Department of Transportation, with the senators, and again, wonderful leadership that's been brought to Philadelphia to make this crisis just a little bit less painful. I know that President Trump sends his condolences to the community and is offering resources and support as this recovery continues and investigation continues. I've been in contact with Senator Fetterman and his office, as well as Senator McCormick. Both of them have been wonderful partners as we deal with this crisis from the federal side. If I could also just take a moment, if you watch the news, the NTSB and the FAA have had a number of different issues they've been dealing with. And they were here at this crash site in less than an hour and a half. They responded immediately to make sure our investigators could be on site, on scene, and begin to look at the details around what happened so we can get answers to make sure this doesn't happen again. And so I want to say thank you to the FAA and to the NTSB. As many of you have reported, the black box was recovered. That was a voice recorder box. We don't have a data recorder on this aircraft, but there is an enhanced ground proximity warning system. Information can come off that device, whether it's the speed or location of the aircraft. We will be able to get some data, hopefully, off that device. But the FAA and the NTSB, they're going to look at weather. Was there medical concerns? Was there technical or mechanical issues on the airplane? All factors that, even though this crash was so devastating, there are remains, whether it's the engines, the wings, that they can look at and get answers to what took place here. We hope to get their preliminary report within 30 days, and we have committed to being as transparent as possible with the information as it comes out. And in these crises, Mayor and Governor, I know that sometimes people forget because the news cycle moves so fast. Yes. We will not forget. We're going to stand in partnership with your community and this wonderful team that you all have built, who I've had a chance to meet, and they are just, they are remarkable Americans, and it was a pleasure to meet them. And again, if you want an example how to respond to crises, look to what happened here and to the team that you all have built, because you all did it right. Governor, Mayor, so thank you for your example that you've shown the country and your community.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you. I'll be brief. You know, in life, there's a thin line between tragedy and triumph, between danger and safety. That line you can quite literally witness on Cottman Avenue. Millisecond difference could have claimed many more lives in our community. Thank God it didn't. You can also see in life a line between cooperation and between those who run separately and apart. Here in Philadelphia, in Northeast Philly, over the last several days, we've witnessed that line. We've also witnessed the very best of our community and our government working together. I was struck by one of the images on Friday night as I was here in the pouring rain together with the mayor and on the phone with the secretary, of a person donning his Kelly green hoodie, symbolizing the triumph and ultimately the ultimate triumph on Sunday of the Philadelphia Eagles. But this was a guy who was also dealing with tragedy, and in that hoodie running to save others, to keep them safe. I witnessed it when Philly Fire didn't hesitate for a second but ran toward danger, not knowing what they were dealing with, but putting out that fire and no doubt saving other lives. Police coming together to support us and make sure we are safe. That thin line kept us safe. And I am grateful to our first responders and law enforcement for doing their part to save lives. I'm grateful to our neighbors here in Northeast Philly for doing their part to save lives. And I'm especially grateful to Mayor Parker for her extraordinary leadership here in the city of Philadelphia, and all of those who flank behind her to do this important work. You've seen the mayor and I standing up before you, and she's done an outstanding job of sharing relevant information that you needed to be able to keep you and your family safe. Perhaps what you didn't see, though, is the team the mayor assembled behind you. Quite literally, the folks right now who are going through DNA, the folks who are excavating ground so that they could get that black box out and get answers, the folks who are out cleaning up our community so people can get back up on their feet. All of these folks work with the mayor, work with the city of Philadelphia, and make us proud. And I wish the people of Philadelphia could see the extraordinary work they do. They would be proud of these public servants. As for the Commonwealth, we've done our best to support the mayor and her administration through the Pennsylvania State Police, led by Colonel Christopher Paris, who is with us, PEMA, led by Director Randy Padfield, who's with us, PennDOT, who's done great work to help make sure our roads have the resources that they need. And I just want you to know, Madam Mayor, the Commonwealth stands with you, not just today, but every day as we go forward. And finally, as I alluded to a moment ago, Secretary Duffy, I think you've been on the job about a week or so, God bless you, got on the phone with me immediately to say, what do you need? Here's what we are sending. We are in this with you. Probably had one phone in his ear dealing with the tragedy in Washington, D.C., and the other in his other ear helping us here in Philly. It says a lot about him, and it says a lot about the people that are behind him as well at the U.S. Department of Transportation to make sure that we have what we need here in this city of Philadelphia. I know oftentimes folks like to find division in ranks, division in our politics. There's no division here. Everybody rowing in the same direction. Everybody working together. Everybody making sure that that thin line between danger and safety is understood, and we prioritize the safety and welfare of the people of Philadelphia and the citizens of this great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Madam Mayor, thank you for your leadership. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Just want to also acknowledge the presence of one of our council members, Jimmy Harity. Yes, ma'am. Excuse me.
So in regard to the strike zone, it was how expansive it was, and the issues that fire and police were dealing with. Again, this is a very populated area. Controlling, the people in the area, making sure they're safe in this process, as well as trying to put the fires out in the community, in the homes around the crash site. But again, if you look at the impact and how deep that crater is, it was a very steep angle at which that aircraft came down. You asked the second part of that question? Oh, the black box was on its way to D.C. today. Since I've been talking to the governor and the mayor, I don't have an update on the condition of the black box, but hopefully we're able to extract the evidence off the black box.
Sean, 1 second, Sean.
Mayor, for the businesses affected and the homes that were damaged, are there city resources or other government resources available?
Thank you, Sean, for asking that very important question. While the immediate response was the public safety and health of those who were immediately impacted, we know that there will be both short, medium, and a long-term impact on Philadelphia. And while we're dealing with the physical health and social and emotional impact, we really do have to quantify the economic impact. And for that, that's why I'm grateful to have Secretary Secretary Duffy here, along with Governor Shapiro. We immediately had those conversations, and it will require that intergovernmental collaboration, no silos, with our City of Philadelphia finance budget being able to connect with the agencies that we discussed earlier, Mr. Secretary and Governor. So appropriate, and we're working on getting that done immediately. Thank you for that question. Well, I don't want to answer for them, but I do want to share what they've communicated to us. It goes back to the NTSB headquarters. They have the best technical experts available, and we allow them to do that work. And just like they found it and they publicly affirmed to us when they acquired it, they'll give us an update. But one of the things, I'll be very honest, as mayor of the city of Philadelphia, I've watched it in the past. I'm very sensitive to putting a time, line and/or affirming what can or cannot be done. It's just been transported to them. Let's give those experts an opportunity to do their job, and let's let them report back to us.
Mayor.
Deanna, yes. Yes. Deanna, you were ultra sensitive and perceptive when you asked that question earlier, and the same on today. That is why we have been so exact in affirming what we have confirmed, but not being absolute. As much as we want to say, this is the exact number of people who have been impacted and treated, or these are the absolute number of lives that have been lost. We're going to allow our experts, our partners at the local, state, and federal levels to continue to do their work. And as soon as we get more information, we will communicate it to you. But I do want to say this, because in real time yesterday, I visited 2 people and their families who were impacted. And they know that we're praying for them, and they were very grateful to it. But I also want you to know, I stopped at one of our hospitals in particular and had a chance to go into the emergency room and talk to all of the emergency medical professionals who were there to say thank you to them, because they are frontliners, and we were very grateful for their support. Thank you. Annie? Yes. Yes. Thank you. One more question.
Mayor.
I'm sorry.
Mayor, it's my understanding that
yes,
you've been in a briefing that you had prior to all this. You've seen far more specific video now of the impact, the point of the impact from possibly the Dunkin' Donuts. Could you speak to that in a little bit a way and tell the public about what it is you witnessed there and what happened?
You heard the governor and I the other day, I think it was Friday or either Saturday, the days are running together now. I affirmed that I'm a praying mayor, and he affirmed how strongly he stood on his faith. When you look through the footage and you think about what could have been, had a gas line been hit, I'm going to stand strong on my faith. I'm grateful to God. I am also thinking about everything that we need to do that you can't quantify by numbers. The social and emotional repair. That's why you constantly keep hearing me refer to the importance of us acknowledging trauma and the impacts that a tragedy like this can have on the city. And so Jeff, we're working on it, and we're working on making sure that we use every level of government. I know every time I say that word, people say, Mr. Secretary, intergovernmental collaboration. I mean, it sounds like, what's that thing? Is that important? Let me say this, Philadelphia. We can't get through this moment without working with our federal partners in Washington, along with our state legislators and our governor here. We all have to do it together. So I was fortunate in thinking about Philadelphia, and that we don't let politics get in the middle of us getting our work done here. So, no emotions, no pride, no ego here. These were professionals who got together, and they are doing that job, and I am so grateful. Thank you all so much. If you have any further questions, see Joe Grace, and we'll do our best to answer them for you.
Okay, so not much updates besides I think they changed the number of injured people. It went up by like 2. I think it was 22 and it went up to 24. And I think that's honestly, I think that's all I got from it. There's not many, the black box was recovered. I mean, we've mentioned that. It's all over. That's been widely reported already. And it's sent to DC. And it's up to NTSB. I really think the updates that are going to be informative or like new information is probably going to be NTSB, because yesterday they had like 2 pressers. I didn't even live stream it because I kind of scanned it and I watched it and I was like, they're not really saying much, So yeah, it's got like literally nothing. So I'm looking forward to the next NTSB thing. The last NTSB was actually somewhat interesting. I thought with like the Washington DC flight discrepancy, that was interesting, even though we have to wait for more information. But they were saying that the control tower might have seen that the helicopter was at 200 feet, but the plane and the helicopter crashed. The plane they said was at 300, I think 25 feet plus or minus 25. So obviously, if the plane was at that height and it hit the helicopter, I'm thinking the helicopter had to be at that height, So, but they need the helicopter data. But that right there in itself is kind of strange. It seemed like maybe the helicopter was higher than it was supposed to be. The other thing interesting too about that, and I'll just play a quick clip on what this guy was saying, from the conservative twins. I remember when those guys first came up, but this guy had something interesting to say that other professionals have pointed out, people that have flown in that type of helicopter.
Buddies is a retired colonel from the United States Army who flew Blackhawks. And here is what he texted me moments ago. There's only one thing for certain, Wayne. They flew without a crew chief on the left-hand side of the helicopter that could have seen the approaching aircraft. Everything else is wild speculation and not worth taking the time to talk about.
So there was another pilot that I had seen, and she said that they should have had 4 people on the flight. So you had like the 2 people on the front and then 1 on each side. And the whole plane, the whole chopper is like, not just the front, but the sides as well are like windows. Lily posted this the other day. This is the front of it, but it's not even just the front of it. On the sides, you have like, it's you can see a lot. But they only had 1 person on one side. He's saying that they're not having the extra person. That's probably why they missed the plane. Maybe they never saw the plane.
You'll be disingenuous if you say anything other than that. The Black Hawk was short a crew chief. It's that simple. Don't play expert on this one. Everyone else is embarrassing themselves. This is a simple case of the Black Hawk not visually seeing the American Airlines plane until it was right on top of them before they collided. They had no eyes out the Black Hawk on the left side. The Black Hawk pilot in command's primary mistake was not flying with a second crew chief on the left-hand side for a flight in dense DC air traffic. Trump has not been told about the lack of a crew chief yet, apparently. Just a reminder that I was both a Black Hawk pilot and a Black Hawk crew chief, so I know both worlds and both positions' full responsibilities to keep the aircraft clear of disasters and collisions. The Black Hawk will take most of the blame, but the Black Hawk unit commander should share the blame for not forcing the flight to have a full crew of 4 with both crew chiefs aboard. This flight commander could have denied the risk assessment unless a full crew was aboard the Black Hawk. In other words, he should not have let it take off. If they were short, then they shouldn't have taken off. So Trump might be partially right that DEI is to blame. If the crew chief, if the pilot, if the commander on the ground who signed off on the mission, if any one of them was a DEI hire and promoted for DEI and not merit, but we don't publicly know the names, rank yet of the Black Hawk pilots.
So they already put out the names, and the lady, there's a lot, and maybe we'll get to that in another time, but she was like top 20 of the Army cadet, and they said she had a lot of qualifications and stuff like that. So I don't know why this flight was allowed with only 3 people instead of 4. There's some weird stuff with it too. Maybe this is not weird, but maybe weird isn't the right word. Maybe this is normal. I don't know. I'll just say interesting. So she was the military assistant at the White House earlier this month who stood beside fashion designer Ralph Lauren. There's in a video where she like escorts the guy, and I don't know. Here's the video. So yeah, and this guy here too, I haven't watched this video yet, but he seems to have a pretty interesting take. So when we touch back on this topic, I think maybe we'll play some of this, but it says the Black Hawk pilot likely never saw the flight. So just, kind of craziness. And there's conspiracy a little bit behind the lady. Some people think that like, her social media was scrubbed, and, they didn't release the name until they scrubbed her name. And I don't know. The conspiracy controversy behind it, real quick, I saw this video. I don't know. I'm almost afraid to play it. We have a mental health crisis in the United States. I think he's upset about politics. Oh my God. The hell?
It's okay. It's okay. Everything's okay.
I don't know what that's in relation to. I don't know if it's Trump or what. Let's see what the original poster said. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's politics or what. Hopefully they get some help. This was an ad for the Super Bowl, apparently. I don't even know if I can play this or not. Let me see here.
I hate you because we're from different neighborhoods.
This is like a stop hate thing.
I hate you because you look different.
I hate you because I don't understand you.
I hate you because people I know hate you.
I hate you because I think you hate me.
Because I need someone to blame.
Because you talk different.
Because you act different.
Because you're just different. Man, I hate that things are so bad that we have to do a commercial about it.
Me too.
Stand up to all the hate. That was beautiful.
I find that chilling and amazing in so many ways.
I don't know. So they say they hate each other. I mean, I know it's a commercial, but I hate each other because we're different, or you're different. That's it.
Me too.
We're in the Super Bowl, but I'm not sure as powerful as this one.
Well,
I feel like they could have made it better.
Thank you. I agree with you. Well, we're trying
Chilling.
to get different messages, but we have 2 people here who most people wouldn't think they have a lot in common, given the backgrounds and the lifestyles. And yet,
that was Tom Brady? Oh,
they're 100% together on this issue. And when I called each of them to do it.
Okay, so that was kind of, I wanted to see that commercial. I know he took a lot of heat because he performed at Trump's inauguration. Now, Bianca Censori, there's some people I saw on Twitter saying, because, yesterday at the Grammys. She took off her clothes and stuff, and some people believe like she's being forced and coerced, but I don't know. I don't know her history. I've been told that she's always been like that, like, you know, provocative when she dresses and stuff like that. I don't know. Any woman who has been physically or sexually or emotionally abused will recognize the blank look on her face. Her eyes says it all. I mean, I don't know. But she was like in some sheer see-through stuff. And they're saying she looks different here. Her eyes. The one thing I did see, which this was kind of interesting, is it looks like she says no to him or something. I don't know what the conversation was right before she takes off her clothes. He talks to her. She kind of nods. No. But who knows what they said? I don't know what the conversation was. And then she goes and takes her clothes off. So they think she's being forced. I don't know. Forced and coerced. Now, sorry, didn't notice her eyes. Oh, man. Kate Breton, drone pilot, what's up? On the altimeter of the helicopters, there is a dial where you manually set the barometric pressure, which gives you accurate altimeter reading. This could be a misreading. Interesting. This could cause a misreading. Oh, you set your barometric pressure. Ontario to rip up $100 million contract with Elon. Oof, Elon's kind of turning heads right now. Apparently, Don Lemon, I think he was let go from CNN. Now he has his own show on YouTube, I think. He was supposed to be on X, but him and Elon had this beef. Well, there was an interview. It didn't go so well. And so it looks like Elon pulled his contract. And so he went on his own, looks like. But anyway, Don Lemon says he's urging Donald Trump to take a look in the mirror. Donald, look in the mirror. Saying by his own definition, Trump is a DEI hire himself. What?
President Trump gets on and he says, takes the moment to say that DEI is to blame for the crash, and he got pushed back on it, and he stuck with it. He said, hey, why I'm using this? He's like, how could you deduce that? You know, and he's like, oh, it's because I have common sense. A lot of people are talking about him bringing that up. What's your thoughts on that?
I think Donald Trump is, I'm trying not to call him a POS.
Right. Okay. Acronyms are fine.
I'm trying not to call him a POS. Donald Trump, by his definition of what DEI is, which he thinks is unqualified people, it's not what it is, right? But by his definition, he is a DEI hire. Donald Trump is the most unqualified person to be president of the United States ever. He's a Nepo baby. And among other things that I could say, but I'd rather not use those words to audience. But he's a terrible person. He's a terrible person, and for him to get up there in the moment that he did, when there were still bodies in the water, people I'm sure weren't even sure if their loved ones had passed away. For him to get up there and say that was a new low even for him. And he should be embarrassed, and all the MAGA people who support him and voted for him should be embarrassed as well. And by the way, every single person, pretty much, who stood up there with him, all those 4 white men who stood up there with him at the briefing room at the podium, they would be DEI hires under their definition of DEI. Do you think Pete Hegseth is qualified to be the defense secretary?
So you're saying they're all DEI hires?
What only in the stupid, crazy MAGA brain world is a Fox News host qualified to be the defense secretary? So for him to say, to blame it on DEI, he should take a look in the mirror and take a look at his own appointees.
Interesting. And you know, like I said, what a tragedy, right? And then, yeah,
let me just
definitely had feelings about
Donald
that.
Trump is a racist, and he solidified that to the nation, standing to the world, standing at that briefing room. He is a racist. I said it 7 years ago and shocked everybody on CNN.
All right, so that's Don Lemon. This comments. I think he should have been a little bit careful. I mean, I don't know, because you could indirectly say that. I don't know, because he did pull up like the was it the FAA, the lawsuit, like there's a situation going on with like this DEI stuff. But, you know, did that cause a crash? I don't know. I mean, you could say indirectly too.
Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, you didn't create U.S. aid. The United States Congress did for the American people. And just like Elon Musk did not create U.S. aid, he doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are. We're going to stop him. Elon Musk, you may have illegally seized power over the financial payment systems of the United States Department of Treasury, but you don't control the money of the American people. The United States Congress does that under Article 1 of the Constitution. And just like the president who is elected to something cannot impound the money of the people, we don't have a fourth branch of government called Elon Musk. And that's going to become real clear. This illegal, unconstitutional interference with congressional power is threatening lives all over the world. I'm hearing from my constituents who work for USAID and USAID contractors in Maryland, in Washington, all over the world, and they're telling us that this is a killer in terms of their cutoff of the HIV and AIDS preemption. It's a killer in terms of anti-malarial education. It's a killer in terms of all of the efforts to shut down global viruses.
There's a lot going on. The USAID headquarters in Washington blocked after Musk says Trump agrees to close the aid agency. Staffers of the U.S. Agency for International Development were instructed to stay out of the agency's Washington headquarters in yellow policy tape, and officers blocked the agency's lobby on Monday, today, after billionaire Elon Musk announced President Trump had agreed with him to shut the agency down. USAID said staffers also said more than 600 additional employees had reported being locked out of the aid agency's computer systems overnight. Those still in the system received emails saying that at the direction of the agency leadership, the headquarters building will be closed to agency personnel on Monday, February 3rd. The agency's website vanished Saturday without explanation. Damn. They're cracking down. I don't know what's going on.
Now, I don't know what Elon Musk's intentions are. I don't know what Elon Musk's motivations are. I don't know what his purposes are, but they've got nothing to do with what has been lawfully adopted by the people of the United States of America through the Congress of the United States. We're going to defend U.S. aid all the way.
Rubio's the director of it.
And I want to say finally this. I've heard some murmurings in support of this outrageous, scandalous, illegal maneuver that they just need some time to do some studies for evaluations. Well, I've heard from multiple constituents working in USAID that they have removed all evaluations from the USAID website, and they have shut down immediately, as of right now, all of the evaluations taking place of USAID efforts all over the world. This has nothing to do with evaluation. This is about termination and obliteration of the major foreign aid programs of the United States of America, all of which together total less than $40 billion. We have a Pentagon budget of $900 billion. The Pentagon budget is where the defense contractor Elon Musk, who became the richest man in the world off of our money, he collects his payments from, and now he's trying to shut down U.S. aid. We're not going to allow this to happen. It will not stand.
The U.S. Agency for International Development is the principal U.S. agency to extend assistance to countries recovering from disaster, trying to escape poverty, and engaging in democratic reforms. Okay. They're responsible for administering civilian foreign aid and development assistance worldwide. Established to advance American foreign policy goals, USAID provides funding for humanitarian relief, economic development, democracy promotion, and global health initiatives in more than 100 countries. Okay. And in 2023, USAID managed over $40 billion in combined appropriations. It accounted for over 1/3 of the funds provided in the fiscal year across the state, foreign operations and related to programs appropriation and agriculture appropriation tied to international food aid. Cut it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know the full extent of it, but but yeah, it's people are pissed. People are upset. There's this apparently they're having some protests now too. I don't know if it's live, but here's a clip that was just posted. Says USA must be saved. Must Trump.
Frozen until a waiver was thrown together after the fact. Let me say that again. Prisoner guards overseeing thousands of ISIS combatants walked off the job. This is real life. This is street. Further, I'm urging my fellow Democrats to use every legislative tool we have at our disposal to slow down and stop this crime from succeeding.
So yeah, a lot of people, there's so much going on. It's crazy to even like keep up with this stuff. Let's see who this was raw alerts. Okay. We saw that already. 32 seconds. And the other thing too, because we mentioned Canada's Justin Trudeau, he's pissed about the tariffs and he's saying he's going to put in tariffs. And so Trump said, we don't need Canada for anything. We have more energy than they do. Do we really? I watched something this morning saying that there's I don't know if it's Alberta or some place over there that has more energy than the entire United States. I don't know if that's true, but why are we willing to lose $200 billion per year to them? We don't need them. Damn, $200 billion. Wow. Let's see.
Look, what I'd like to see Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our Tennessee, any one of our states build the cars. They could do it very easily. We don't need them for the cars. We don't need them for lumber. We don't need them for anything. We don't need them for energy. We have more energy than they do. We don't need them for energy. So I say, why are we doing this? Why are we willing to lose between $100 billion and $200 billion a year? We don't need them. As a state, it's different. Look, what I'd like to see Canada become our 51st state. We give them protection, military protection. We don't need them to build our cars. I'd rather see Detroit or South Carolina or any one of our Tennessee, any one of our states.
All right. So yeah, 15 minutes ago, apparently Los Angeles Scanner says that LAPD reporting that protesters are gathering near City Hall. So they're already starting today in Cali early. What time is it in Cali? 2 o'clock here. 1, 12, 11. It's 11 a.m. over there. 11 in the morning. It's crazy. So they're starting early today. And somebody had told me yesterday that supposedly these people were going to call out of work. I guess if they work, they were call out of work today. And according to LA, he's saying that there's reportedly, it's starting out now, 200 to 300 people. So who knows, man? I'm sure we'll be maybe later today covering once they get some feed out there, live feed. A lot of protests going on. We got the immigration protests, and we have now this USAID protest going on, and supposedly the FBI protesting. I don't know if that's going to happen. The FBI protesting. Wow. My gosh. It's crazy. So I'm keeping an eye out today for the protests for sure. Let's see. Piers Morgan. Somebody said Trumpflation, Trump crash. I hope that things get resolved as far as like the economy and like but the prices drop on some of these like the groceries. It's pretty expensive. And as far as Canada, maybe when somebody new takes over, maybe they can work something out that works out for both places. Red. They're doing a, what is this? Red lipstick movement. So I guess, what are they saying? There's a new movement, red lipstick movement, and liberals are wearing red lipstick every day until Trump isn't president. What's next? Sleeping until Trump's gone? So I don't understand this. Okay. So the red lipstick? All day, every day. Okay. Is that a lipstick or a marker? What is that? Oh, that's that thing they put on the edge of their lips. I don't know what that's called. Oh, it is lipstick. I never seen it like that. Maybe that's the new stuff they're using now. Day one. Okay. All right there. I don't know. What's the point of that? Okay. I thought it was a Sharpie at first too. Imagine if it was a Sharpie. All right, let me just do a little browse, see if there's anything else, but I have a feeling we're gonna be back later. What is this? Ontario cancels Starlink. Oh, Ontario's cancels Starlink deal amid U.S. tariff dispute. Not the Starlink. And by the way, there's a new iPhone update. I read a little bit about it. Oh, damn, I gotta call these people back. Oh, okay. There's a new iPhone update that apparently there's some type of Starlink access that if you're in an area that has very bad signal, it gives you the ability to text or something. I haven't tried it out yet. I gotta install it, but that's what they're saying. So they cut this contract deal, $200 billion. That's what somebody. Well, this says $100 million, but people have posted $200 billion. Or 100. Canceling $100 million contract. Somebody just said that in the chat. Oh no. Uh-oh. Maybe that's because of the tariffs. Uh-oh, tariff dispute. You have Starlink? I kind of want to get it. Eventually, I might have to get it because next time I go like on a road trip or travel or something, or maybe just I need to be somewhere streaming. And there's been a couple times even locally, some places, you know, that I want to stream or whatever, and it's just the signal is just really bad. U.S. and Mexico strike border deal, security deal. All right. And let me just look at one more thing. I have a feeling we're going to be covering protests later today. Protests. Thousands protest Donald Trump's U.S. aid cuts. Thousands? Oh, that's already over. Oh, Talib was talking. All right, I guess I'm going to cut it for now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Keep notifications on. I'll come back later. Probably. I feel like something's probably going to happen later. If you want to join the mailing list, there's a mailing list. If you want Discord and subscribe to the second channel. And we'll see what happens. Also, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for NTSB in case they, do a live stream. And the FBI also posted that it's National Missing Persons Day. Do you see anybody you recognize? And when I see this, I see some familiar faces that I know they're asking if you've seen them, but when I see their faces, I remember covering these stories. Vanessa Morales, Lynn Sadar-Kill, covered those two. And then this one is Dulce, covered this girl as well. I never covered this, but the name looks familiar. This girl. So. I thought about the Texas Alexandria, but it's like really expensive. I don't know if it's worth it. And then the other thing too, people feel very some people feel very particular about giving their phone number out. And so honestly, even the email list, people were kind of like, what are you going to do with my email? What are you? Some people had contacted me and I'm like, it's me doing it personally, nobody else. And all I'm doing is sending links to my live streams. That's all it is. Or if I need to like send a notification out or like a message out, that's important, but that's all it is. So I can imagine people, not wanting to give their phone number out. Elon Musk, 23 hours ago, you know that US aid using your tax dollars funded bioweapon research, including COVID-19 that killed millions of people. That's crazy. USA funneled $53 million in EcoHealth Alliance to EcoHealth Alliance, which then used U.S. taxpayer funds to support gain of function research on coronaviruses at the Wuhan lab, research that likely led to the creation of COVID-19. I'm going to have to look that up to see more into that, but hey, have me tag me in that. I agree, Sylvia. Yes. All right, guys, man. So take care of yourselves, and we'll see what pops off later. Thank you so much for hanging out. Love you. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop.